So today, we're going to show you the proper way how to restore faded headlights. There's not going to be any bug spray, there's not going to be any of those toothpaste tricks, nothing. This is going to be the proper way to restore them, keep them from fading in the future so you don't have to mess with them or anything. So we decided on this one, it's going to be easier to leave the headlights in. Bumper brackets get fragile, they love to break. Well, we're going to start with 320 grit sandpaper on DA here. You can hand sand this, all that fun stuff. There's quite a bit of delamination here. I really don't want to hand sand it, and we have to start a little coarser so we can have a good looking product here in the end. You want to sand until you have a nice even haze across the entire headlight. You know, just taking nice little bites at a time. Then once we get a nice even haze, we can move to 600 grit to make this thing look really nice when we put our clear coat on. So most vehicles will not take a 320 grit sandpaper. You know, that's for extreme, like what we had with delamination and the extreme stuff on there. So now we're going to go back over it with 600 grit. Same thing applies. You want to make sure you have a nice even haze across with your sandpaper. That way you can have a good finished product when you're done. So let's hit this little guy. Nice even haze all the way across. That way when we lay our clear coat on here, she looks amazing. Now we're going to blow this off and wipe it off with a degreaser and wax remover. A very important step, especially for clear coat. You don't want any of the residual particulates from sanding this down to land in your clear coat. You can use anything from this to a can of duster or whatever floats your boat. Oh boy. Make sure we got good pressure on here. Spray it onto our non-lint rag, or in this case paper towel. Oh, those are looking good already. I think we can just leave them there. And this is just to make sure that any residual grease or oil from touching them or any of that gets off of here. Because one fingerprint will cause this whole clear coat to not stick to that area. Not fun. There we go. Now we go mix our clear coat up and have some fun. Okay, so we're spraying our clear coat at a lower pressure to help with the atomization of the clear coat. You can get a similar effect with rattle can clear coat or other clear coats, but it's best to use a good product like PPG like we're using right now. Plug this in. You want to be quick about it with a low pressure, otherwise it'll run pretty quick. So we're going to we'll come back in for another coat, and those headlights are looking good. Now we wait for this to flash out a little bit, and then we'll spray a second coat, and then we'll have to remove our masking pretty quickly. Okay, so we're going to go a little heavier on this coat to kind of smooth out anything I missed on my first coat since I went pretty light. You want to be very cautious about running, but the paint is going to be thick enough on this that you can cut and buff it and have a really great looking product. Being a daily driver, we're not going to worry about cutting and buffing. We just wanted this clear so you can actually see at night. And we're golden. So we're gonna pull our masking off here. So it's very important that you pull it off when it's tacky or wet. Reason for that is no matter how good of a job you do prepping your surface, you always risk on the edges pulling part of your clear coat up or chipping it, or some sort of delamination can happen. Doesn't matter how good of a product you use. So you want to take at a nice 45-degree angle, you want to pull away from your clear coat. You know, nice, gentle. Pull this off, get that right out of the way. Okay, so we have the 2013 Acadia headlights here, sanded down, clear coated. They look absolutely amazing. So we used a PPG 2021 clear coat, you know, way overkill for this application. This is normally used on show cars and such. Normally, if you want to use PPG, you use a 2 or 3000 series. You can usually get that rattle can, you know, there's a lot of places that will fill up the rattle cans for you with that product. Now, $150, give or take, if an auto body shop does this. If you were to replace these lights being their HIDs, you're going to be somewhere in the $1,000 range. And we did it for $150 is what we would charge a customer to do this. Huge savings on this. It's going to last, you know, 10 years, if not longer. And they just look amazing. This headlight really surprised me. I thought we'd get some yellow out of it. We did not. Came out really good. So did this side. And that is the proper way to restore your headlights. And it doesn't matter if it's a Acadia or your Mitsubishi or whatever has plastic lens headlights. You can use the same technique on them all.